Hi, boys and girls. We are going to do a math talk right now. Now, I first have to tell you that a few years ago, I kept saying, math, it's time to do math. And one of the little boys raised his hand. He goes, Mrs. Jenkins, what's math? So I guess I shouldn't assume you know what math is, right? Math is something we do in our classroom. All the boys and girls love math because it's so much fun. That's where we get to use our manipulatives, the cubes and the counters and the shapes. We learn about shapes and patterns and numbers. And the very first week of school, we did a lot of sorting and we did some patterns. We're going to continue that. That's not going to stop. We're going to just build on what we did. And now we're working on numbers. Last week we worked on the number 1. So this week we're working on the number 2. So I put my poster up here, but I'm going to get it down because there's a little glare when I hold it like that. Okay, this is how you make the number 2. I have a poem to teach you how. You can just put your finger in the air and kind of try to draw along with me. So I call that sky writing. Okay, it's not a real pencil. We just pretend you do it up in the sky. So we start here. You can make yourself a dot, if we're working on the boards, which we will do very soon. We're going to curve up, make a rainbow, right? It curves up and then it slants down. We don't go straight, we slant, and then we put a straight line on the bottom. So my poem goes like this. Up, around, slant down, go back. Watch what you do as you make the number 2. Let's do it again. Around, down, and back. Watch what you do as you make the number 2. This is how you spell 2. T-W-O. I know, I see the reason there's such a glare on there is because this was laminated, so it has a plastic covering on it. And then there's 2 counters, 1, 2. Hey, I'm going to put this back up, and I have the whole board set up to talk about the number 2. That's why we call this a number talk. So I'm going to move this a little bit closer up so you can see this. The first thing I like to do is put 2 counters in a 10 frame. So last week we only had 1 box filled up. Remember, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, last week we worked on 1, so there was only 1. Now I'm going to put another one. And I'm going to go ahead and do blue, and then we can kind of do a little pattern too. Now, you guys have a 10 frame, so if you want to today, you can get it out, and you can use your counters. Your counters are red on one side and yellow on the other. Now, you're going to need 2. These do not have magnets, so I'm going to have to hold them. So maybe you make it like this, 1 red and 1 yellow. Maybe you want to switch that around and make this one red and this one yellow. Or you could put them both yellow, or we could make them both red. Okay, so I did that right here. And then let me show you what we like to do is then show the kids what we did. There's different ways to make it. Okay, I could have 1 red plus 1 blue. That equals 2. So last week I just showed you with the plus sign in the middle. Now I'm going to show you this here. There's a line on the top, a line on the bottom. That's called equals. Okay, I've got 1 red and 1 blue, and that equals 2. We could switch it around. We could say 1 blue and 1 red, but when I write that, it's the same thing, isn't it? 1 blue plus 1 red equals 2. Or I could switch that up and I could make 2 blue. We could put 2 blue, and then do we need to add any more? No, we already have 2. So how many reds do we have? 0. 2 plus 0 equals 2. Or we could have 0 blues. I'm going to take these down. Maybe we don't want any blues. Maybe we want 0 blues. 0 blues plus 2 red. So these are all the different ways we can make 2. And this is actually the hardest part that we do in our number talks. And so we save that in our pages. We're going to save it till the last day. We're going to do some easy stuff today, and then we'll save that. I just wanted to show you all the different ways you can make 2. Okay? I could use 2 cubes, couldn't I? So I have the red one on the bottom, and I added a blue. Okay, because that also shows 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 red plus 1 blue equals 2. What if I turn it around? 1 blue plus 1 red equals 2. I could also make, just like we did up there in the 10 frame, 2 reds plus 0 blue, or I could do 0 reds and 2 blues. There's different ways to make the number 2. All right, excellent. Good job, you guys. So that was my cubes. And this is the, it's called a Rick and Rack, okay? I know there's another one that looks similar. It's called the abacus. Your parents probably know that, like an abacus. But if I want to make 2, I'm just going to put 1, 2, all right? 2 whites. Do we have any reds? No. Okay, or I could put 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. This one is 2 on the top, 0 on the bottom. This way is 1 on the top plus 1 on the bottom. It's still 2. Or maybe I want 2 on the bottom and 0 on the top. So we just did all of these again. Okay, I'll just show you. I love these things. I told you last week, I bought these one time and they only came 1 through 5. And oh, I wish I had them for every single number. But when we get to bigger numbers, I have something else, okay? So we just showed 1 dot. Oh, you know what? This is where you started. So the dot there is up, around, slant down, go back, okay? So you start on this dot, and then you curve around, you go down to this dot. This shows us 2 Unifix cubes. Hey, they use the same colors I did, blue and red. This shows 2 counters. This is how we write 2, TWO. This is 2 tally marks. This is 2 dots on a dice, and this is 2 children. Now, this girl is first in line, and the boy is behind her, so you say he's second. If we were lining up to go to recess or to lunch or to the library, the first person in the line is number 1, and they're first, and the second person in line is number 2, and we say they're the second. I forgot to show you tally marks, so I'm going to do that right now. My marker, I guess I put that away. Alrighty, okay, so tally marks, I did not do tally marks for the number 1, but all that is a line going down. That's 1. And now for 2, it's just 2. So all we're doing is kind of like the straws, right? 1 straw, 2 straws. That's it, they're just lines. And then I'll show you when we get to 3, you'll see we have to do something special when we get to 5. All right, I'm gonna walk over here. And let me get this set up, and boys and girls, we are going to use the yellow folder because that's your math folder, and you know what math is now, don't you? Math is working with patterns and shapes and numbers and counting, and then reading is learning how to read, working with the alphabet, the ABCs, and that we're doing a lot of both in kindergarten. I can't believe we're doing math already. We're doing reading already. I'm going to get these things out of the way. I just finished those. Trying to do my lessons in the afternoon where it's nice and bright in my office. Okay, so when you open this up, again, if you want to cut these flashcards apart and have them, you can do that. I haven't done them yet because I thought, well, maybe we can wait till we get a few more numbers done, but I will. And then I'm just going to keep them in there. Okay, last week we did this whole packet for number 1. So I'm going to leave it in the folder because if we go back to school sooner than later, we need all these packets back because we're probably not going to have time to get through all of them. We gave you enough work to last us until after Christmas, and hopefully we'll be back sooner than that. And then I need you to bring the whole folders back, okay? So I'm going to get this packet out, okay? We're going to work through we're going to do 2 pages today, just like we did last week. So these videos are going to start getting shorter because the kids are going to start going, I know how to do that. We did that last week. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is write our name. Again, if your child cannot write their name without help, I'll pretend that I don't know how, even though I do. And again, I keep forgetting to bring the highlighters home. So I see how I wrote it with the yellow. Now, your child can just trace over those. There's nothing wrong with that. It's almost better. You don't want your child to have to take 10 minutes writing their name when the paper isn't even a name writing paper. It's a math paper. So let's just get the names on there, even if parents have to write it, and so that we can do this part. All right, when you have your pencil in your hand, again, I'm just going to do quick listen. Pointer, middle finger, thumb, nice pencil grip, pinch it, pinch your pencil. I'm gonna trace over TWO. Okay, tracing is so good at the beginning of the year. And W, so we haven't learned how to make these letters yet, but the tracing is awesome. And then we're just tracing twos today. You don't even have to make your own yet. Okay, now, down here at the bottom, okay, boys and girls, you know what? The kindergarten teachers, we all have had a discussion about what these are. Some people thought that they were cookies, but look, there's little mushrooms on there. You can tell that's a mushroom, and this is like pepperoni or maybe olives. So what do you think that is? They're pizzas. Okay, I guess the reason that's kind of hard is that they're kind of curvy, and most time you think of pizzas as round. How many pizzas do you see? 1, 2. So down here, you're gonna make a 2. Again, if you think you can make your 2 all by yourself, the rainbow on the top, slant down in a straight line on the bottom, great. So, you know, a lot of times kids will make a 2 and maybe it's backwards. I do like the kids to fix their backwards numbers, because if they always make them back, there's nothing wrong with it. We really don't worry about that at all in kindergarten. But if they do make it backwards, we have them fix it, because if they're always making it backwards, they're not gonna learn the correct way. So then we're gonna color it, and I'm just gonna color one of them. So does anyone know what color pizza crust is? I think I'm gonna use my peach crayon. My peach crayon, because it's not really white. You mix it up with flour and egg and some oil or some other things. So instead of leaving it white, I'm gonna do it peach. All right, and then I see the nice little mouth and the nose. I'm gonna trace red. Now, anyone know what color pepperoni is? Pepperonis, these little red ones. If you think they're pepperoni, which I do, I'm gonna color them red, because pepperoni is kind of a reddish color. If you think they're olives, and if you like olives on your pizza better than pepperoni, then you would color them black. There are green olives too. How about mushrooms? Maybe you guys don't like mushrooms. I do, I love them. So I'm gonna color my mushrooms brown. Now, I don't think I got them all, but I just wanna show you. And then what kind of sauce does pizza have on it? Mostly red. So I'm gonna do maybe just a little bit lighter. This is the pasta, the tomato sauce, the pizza sauce. And then there's cheese. And the cheese they use on pizza sometimes is white or yellow. So I'm gonna just like put some cheese on there too. All right, now I'm not gonna do both of them, but I'll just kind of show you. Okay, so take your time when you're coloring. Don't scribble, scrabble. All right, and then Mom or Dad or whoever's working with you could put a happy face or a star on your paper. I'm gonna put a big star right here and then go on. And this should not take very long, because you guys remember from last week, I want you to trace these numbers with rainbow colors. So in my crayons right here, right now, I'm gonna get out a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and if you want to use pink or magenta, you are welcome to. So I'm going to trace the first 2 with red, and I want to say the poem. Around, down, and back. Watch what you do as you make the number 2. Okay, now my poem just says around, down, and back, but I like to kind of switch it up and say this. Okay, curve up, slant down. Well, I should go around, up, around, slant down, and back. Watch what you do as you make the number 2. I'm going to do that again. Up, around, slant down, and back. Watch what you do as you make the number 2. And we'll keep going. I've got my green, I got my blue, I grabbed a turquoise, I've got my purple. Now I need another one, so maybe I'll grab the pink really fast, or magenta. And then you can use whatever colors you want down here. TWO spells 2. And we are done. So please don't do any more yet, because they are kind of ranging difficulties. So then we'll do a couple more tomorrow, and then we'll save the hardest ones for the next day, okay? All right, nice job. I'm gonna make myself a little happy face up here, okay? And I know that I worked my hardest and I did my best, okay? Bye-bye.